you need anything to get comfortable if you're not comfortable yet. And as you lie on your back, that may be a blanket underneath your head or something underneath your knees if you'd like to. And for those of you who are settled already, just find your way into your breath. Breath awareness. Simply observing the body breathe. And for our centering this morning, I'm going to guide you through a practice called 75 breaths. And it's by Rod Stryker. So the first thing I'm going to invite you into is just to find a nice, even flow between the inhale and the exhale. Maybe about 85% of your capacity. You're welcome to deepen it if you want to, as long as the breath remains comfortable, there's no strain. This is meant to be very relaxing. We had a request for neck and head. So that may mean rolling up the blanket a little bit to support the neck, or lifting the head slightly. And allow the body to relax into your mat, into the earth. Gravity take over. And we're going to begin with 10 breaths taken starting at the crown of the head. Your inhale is going to descend to the soles of your feet. And as you exhale, the breath ascends back to the crown of the head. 10 breaths, inhaling from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, exhaling back up to the crown of the head. The completion of those 10 breaths will take the next 10 breaths from the crown of the head, inhaling to the ankles, and then exhale from the ankles back to the crown of the head. Inhaling, crown of the head to the ankles, exhaling from the ankles back to the crown of the head. Now the next 5 breaths, we're going to take to the knees and back up. So inhaling from the crown of the head to the knees, exhaling from the knees to the crown of the head, just 5 breaths here. And the next 5 breaths, we're going to take from the base of the spine. Just going to inhale from the crown of the head to the base of the spine, exhaling from the base of the spine back to the crown of the head. 5 breaths. The next 5 breaths, we'll take them to the navel. So inhaling, crown of the head to the navel, and then exhaling navel to the crown of the head. And the next 5 breaths into the heart. Inhaling from the crown of the head to the heart, exhaling from the heart back to the crown of the head. Breath stays long, smooth, and continuous. The next 5 breaths will take to the throat. So inhaling from the crown of the head to the throat, exhaling from the throat back to the crown of the head. Long, smooth, and even breaths. Next 5 breaths to the third eye. So inhaling from the crown of the head to the third eye, exhaling from the third eye to the crown of the head. Body's relaxed, breath even, smooth, and flowing. Now we're going to reverse the flow of breath. Bring your attention to an inch or two below the tip of the nose. And just 25 breaths here from 1 to 2 inches below the nose, all the way up to the crown of the head, and then back down to an inch or two below the tip of the nose. So now the inhale ascends and the exhale descends. Body remains relaxed, surrendering to gratitude, to the earth, to this moment. Present moment awareness with your breath. When you complete those 25 breaths, just notice the sensations physically, emotionally, energetically, mentally, spiritually, for you. Just noticing the effects that that 75 breath technique had on you. When you feel complete, or when you've completed that, we're going to begin some gentle movement, just taking care of our low backs. So if the knees are not bent, please bend them, placing the feet on the floor. We're going to bring the knees and the feet all the way together. And we're just going to come into our sacral rock. So here, to begin with, our feet will stay firmly planted in the floor. The knees and the feet are touching. Arms by your side, or you can place your palms on your belly. And just a slow or a small movement side to side here. So just notice if the edges of the feet start to come off the floor, and then create a smaller movement for now. So just a nice small movement right across the tailbone. After you've gone side to side several times and just checking in with how this is feeling for you, notice if you'd like to make the movement a bit bigger, you can do this. And then let the edges of the feet roll off the floor. But since we're just beginning in the practice, I would encourage you to keep the movement still rather small. In other words, let's not take the knees all the way to the floor yet into a twist, because we're really just trying to gently warm up the body, and in particular here, the spine, the low back, right, the sacrum. So we don't want to go too deeply yet. Breath is continuous and flowing, just like we were doing during the centering. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then bringing the knees back upright, take the feet hip width apart. And we'll come right into our hip hikers or sliders. So the tailbone, buttock stays on the floor, and just hike one hip up towards the shoulder and then switch sides. Just sliding the hips up the mat, slowly, mindfully with the breath. Little pelvic movement, again, still working with the sacrum, low back. We'll bring that to neutral, back to center, and then come into hip pointers. So pressing into the right foot, point the right hip up to the ceiling, and then bring that gently back down and switch sides. And so we're not picking up the buttocks and swinging. We're just pointing one hip up to the ceiling while the opposite cheek stays on the floor. Notice your breath, continuous and flowing. And then alternate between these two. So do a few hip hikers. And then into hip pointers. And bring all that to neutral. And let's pull the knees into the chest, hands on your knees. We'll coordinate this with our breath. So an exhale, pull the knees in close. Inhale, arm lengths away. So now we're rounding the low back. A little stretch here. You can keep this movement as small as you need to or as large as it feels good to you. Inhale, arm lengths away. And exhale as you pull the knees in close. And then from here, we'll take this into knee circles. So circling the knees around in one direction, big or small. Breath is continuous. Just a little massage all across the low back and sacrum. And then switch directions. And bring the knees back to center. Let's go ahead and extend the legs out along the floor. Reach the arms overhead. Just take a nice full body stretch. Fingers and toes. Take a nice inhale here. And exhale. Hug the knees in. Wrap the arms around the legs. If it feels safe on your neck, bring the head up off the floor. But if not, just keep it back down in the floor. And then maybe a little rolling side to side. And you might roll all the way up to seated or roll to one side. We're going to find our way to hands and knees. Okay. So placing the hands on the floor, very mindfully placing the hands on the floor, shoulder width apart, maybe slightly in front of the shoulders, pressing into the base of the fingers. So you can feel the heel of the hand lift just a bit. Okay. We'll come into our cat-cow. We're going to come into our traditional warm-ups before we move into some of the other requests. So exhaling, let's round the spine like a cat. And then reverse that, inhaling, lift the head, lift the tailbone. Exhaling, round. And inhaling, open. Heart softening to the earth. And then moving into the back body. And then notice what changes or shifts through this movement if you keep the navel drawn towards the spine gently. So there's a slight engagement of the core. It just helps support the low back. So if you have any low back sensitivity, that might feel really nice for you. A little more stability. And then let's move from here and start to circle the hips around several times in each direction. Again, notice the difference between engaging the core and not engaging it. Feel that. You can, as you're circling the hips, kind of incorporate the cat-cow with this. So the spine just begins to move in all directions. Notice your breath. Maintain that nice continuous flow. We'll bring this to center and find our way into our Chakravakasana. So exhaling back into a child's pose. And inhaling back to hands and knees. Exhaling back. And inhaling back to hands and knees. Just slowly with the breath. Core engaged. Feel a sense of drawing inward or going inside as we drop into a child's pose. And a sense of opening. We're moving our energy more outwards as we come up to hands and knees. If it feels safe to you, or this is something that would feel good to you as you come up to hands and knees, maybe you'd like to pull forward with the heart, lengthening the spine. Definitely keep the core engaged there. That's up to you how far you take this forward with the hands. Continue to create a practice that's serving you this morning. Remember, you have options if the wrists get tired to come up onto the fists, or you can even do this practice from forearms. The next time you drop back into a child's pose, go ahead and pause there for a moment. You can bring your head to the floor or to your hands, to a block if you have one. So just notice what would be supportive for your neck this morning. Extending the arms back out in front of you, inhaling up to hands and knees. Let's curl the toes under and find our first down dog this morning. So taking the tailbone high into the sky, just begin to pedal the feet. taking our dogs for a walk. You might want to pull forward into plank pose. Press back into down dog again. Maybe lift onto the balls of the feet, lifting the heels, or maybe pressing one heel down into the floor, finding a nice stretch to the calf and the Achilles. We're just exploring here. You can kind of shift around like snake-like qualities in the spine. And then once again, let's find our way to the knees and into a child's pose where we'll pause, breathe, and just feel where we are in the practice so far. So just notice the sensations in the body. Notice what's coming up for you. So it's all about just being in present moment awareness. Once again, extend the arms if you folded them. Find your way back to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, come into down dog. Exhaling here. And then go ahead and let's bring our hands or our feet to our hands. So you find your way to the front of your mat in a forward fold. Feet are parallel, hip width apart. You can bend the knees if you need to. Allow the spine to drape over the thighs. Let the head hang, so the weight of the head kind of creates some lengthening in the cervical spine. Just kind of hanging out in your forward fold. Just take 3 more breaths here. If you'd like to grab a hold of the opposite elbow, you can. Allow the arms to just hang and the head to hang, maybe sway side to side. A couple more breaths here. And then we'll bring our hands to our hips, engage the core, bend the knees pretty generously here to come up, lengthen the spine, really use your core as you press your way up to standing. Nice. All right. So go ahead and we're going to kind of we're going to go through a combination, a little series, and we're going to put it all together. So to begin with, all we're going to do is connect our movement with our breath from standing to forward fold, right, with our arms. So on an inhale, reach the arms out wide and overhead, and bring the palms together. Exhale down through center, fold forward. Bend the knees if you need to get the hands into the earth so that the stretch you're feeling in the back of the legs is soft, it's gentle. Arms by your side, reach behind you, draw the shoulder blades onto the back, engage the core, lengthen the spine, and press down to come up. Arms reach overhead. And exhale down through center, fold forward, right back down again. Just several rounds just like this. Your next inhale brings you back up to standing. And your next exhale brings you back down into the forward fold. Just take your time with your breath. Move at your own pace. Really pay attention to what's going on in the back. Take care of it. Keep the core engaged. One more time, exhaling, fold forward. And inhale to standing. And this time, pause at the heart, exhaling here. Just again, taking this moment to pause and feel the practice. Come into our half salutations. Inhale, reach up. You can interlace the hands or take a hold of one wrist and then exhale to the opposite side. So I have my left wrist folding to the right. You'll inhale back up and then switch sides. Exhaling into the fold. So waking up the side body. Inhaling back up. Exhale, lower the arms. Either hands to your hips or to your palms to your low back. Draw the elbows back, opening up the shoulders, the heart as you lift through the sternum. Shift the gaze up to the ceiling if that feels safe on your neck. If not, look straight ahead. Slight tuck of the tailbones. We're lengthening in the low back. Breathing into this standing baby cobra. So take a couple of breaths here. Just feel the pose in your body. Modify where you need to. And then on your next exhale, let the hands run down the buttocks, the back of the legs, into your forward fold. Hands to your shins, press into the shins to lengthen the arms. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back body. Crown of the head moving towards the front of the room. Navel to spine. Nice back body strengthener here. Hold and breathe. You're going to feel this in the hamstrings. We want to take that tailbone back. Slight anterior tilt of the pelvis. Keep breathing. On your next exhale, fold forward. And inhale, come back up. Exhale into the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale, back up. And exhale to the other side. Inhale. And exhale, lower the arms, hands to your hips or low back, open the heart, standing baby cobra, nice, inhale into the heart, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway, long neutral spine, and exhale, release. Inhale, back to standing. And move right back into the half salutations. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale up. And exhale to the other side. Inhaling. And exhale the arms. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale to standing. So I'd like to come into a little strengthening pose here, Utkatasana or chair pose, sometimes also called difficult pose. And then we're going to come in and add it to that salutation in a moment. So we're going to keep the hands at your heart, or you can even bring them to your thighs. We want to have the feet parallel and directly underneath the hips. If you have a block, you're welcome to use it. Sometimes people really like that. They squeeze the block between their thighs. Very stabilizing. Okay, so that's certainly an option. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and find our squat. So you want to reach back with the tailbone so you're sitting on the heels, okay? And that you can lift and see your toes. This is to protect the knees. Now, if you have any knee challenges, just minimize how much you bend into the knee, right? So, or if you feel a little stronger, you can drop in, drop low to the ground, but no more than 90-degree angle, okay? You're still reaching the tailbone back. You can see and wiggle the toes. So this is really important for the knees. core is engaged, spine and heart lifted and lengthened. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can extend the arms overhead, maybe straight out in front of you or even overhead. Goalpost arms, it's up to you. I'm going to keep mine at my heart this morning. Just breathing into heart space. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Come out if you need to. And after that 3rd breath, press down equally through both feet as you come up to standing. Shake that out a little bit. Just kind of feel it, shake it out. And we'll come back into our half salutations and we're going to add that squat into there. Okay? So inhale, reach up with the arms. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale, back up. And exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, lower the arms. Bring your palms to your sacrum. Inhale, lift the heart. Now from here, before we come into the forward fold, exhale into your chair pose. So finding your upper body expression, sitting as deeply as it serves you today. And then on your next exhale, hands to your thighs and work your way down the legs into a forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale back to standing. And exhale, fold to one side. Inhale back up. And exhale to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale into chair pose. Pause here on the inhale. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale back to standing. One more round here. Exhale to one side. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale back up. And exhale, lower the arms. Open the heart on the inhale. Exhale into chair pose. Inhale here. And exhale, fold. Long, slow, even breaths, just taking our time. Inhale halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale to standing, long spine, engage the core. Palms together overhead. Exhale into the heart. Nice deep breaths here. Feeling the echo of the practice. Good. All right, I'm going to turn sideways to the camera. We're going to continue to add on here. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, back up. This time we're going to skip the heart opener. Exhale right into chair pose. Inhale here. And exhale, fold forward. We're going to place the palms or your fists, either way, into the floor on either side of your feet and step the right foot all the way back. So a high lunge. Core is engaged, lengthen the spine. If you have blocks with you, this is a nice place to use them if you'd like. You don't have to. If you don't have them, that's okay. Keep the hands on the floor. You can modify by lifting the hip a little bit, or you're looking for a little bit more strength work. Bend more deeply into that front leg. Please just make sure that the knee is aligned right over the ankle. So it's not out in front of the toes. You take a wider stance. We want to protect the knee. Breath is steady. And then on your next exhale, step the right foot back up to the front of your mat to meet your left. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale back to standing. And we'll move right into the other side. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale back up. And exhale, fold to the other side. Inhale back up. Exhale into your squat. Hold on the inhale. And exhale, fold forward. This time we'll step our left foot all the way back. High lunge again. Any modifications that you deeply bend into that front knee is up to you. Keep it aligned over the ankle just to help support the knee. Back leg is strong, core engaged. Another breath here. And then on your next exhale, step the left foot up. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale back to standing. And exhale into my heart, into your heart. Okay, so we're going to move through it just like that again. All right, so I'm just going to switch from the other direction. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale. And exhale over to the other side. Inhale, reach up. And exhale into your squat. Tailbone back. Feet parallel, core engaged. Take an inhale here. And exhale, fold forward. Right foot steps all the way back. Pause here for 3 breaths. You can keep the hands in the floor or a block. If you want to come up for a couple of breaths into a high lunge, you're welcome. Looking for a stronger practice, here you go. Otherwise, just keep the hands on the floor. After that third exhale, step that right foot up. And this time, let's interlace our hands behind us on our back. And then just take a breath here as you bring the arms up off the back, if that's in your practice, if that's available to you, and fold forward. The exhale lowers the arms and releases the hands. And the inhale, we sweep the arms back up. Exhale, fold to one side. Inhale up. And exhale to the other side. Inhale. Exhale into your squat. And exhale, fold. Footsteps back, lunge, 3 breaths. Either stay low to the earth or come on up. Back leg is strong. Front knee aligned with the ankle, not in front of the toes. And on that third exhale, fold. Step the left foot up. Interlace the hands behind you. Take a breath here, opening the front of the shoulders and the chest. Release the head. The exhale releases the hands. Inhale back up to standing. And this time exhale into your heart. And just pause here. So from here, right now, what we're going to do, because I had a neck request, so let's do a little work in the neck. You can stay standing, okay? We're going to take the palm of our right hand to the right side of our head, okay? We're going to do a little resistance work, which is really nice release for the neck, and we'll come back into another part of the practice here in a minute. So we're going to press the head into the hand while the hand tries to press the head back upright. But the head's going to win. We're drawing the ear towards the shoulder. It's just having to work to get there. And then we bring it back up. This time the hand presses into the head while the head resists back to neutral. And we'll just a total of 4 rounds here. No more, just 4. Resisting in both directions and really activating, waking up, loosening up that fascia in our neck. Kind of nice to do more towards the middle of the practice like this when we're a little bit more warmed up. After 4 rounds, release the right hand, switch to the left side, and the same thing here, resisting both directions. Keep breathing, so notice if you began to hold your breath here a bit, keep that flowing. And then we're going to come back to the first side now. I'm placing the heel of my hand more towards the right corner, like between my forehead and temple, right? Because I'm going to rotate the head now. So with that same resistance, I'm going to rotate the head. I'm looking to my right as my hand resisted. And then I'm going to resist bringing the gaze back forward again. Okay? 4 rounds, rotation. Resisting in each direction. And then after 4 rounds here, we'll go ahead and switch to the other side. And rotate to the left, or at least to the opposite side you went on the first round. And then after 4 rounds there, we're going to go ahead and bring the heel of one hand to the forehead, right, front and center. And now we're going to drop the chin to the chest and resist both directions here. So I'm going to press the forehead into my hand, and as I bring the chest, I'm just chin into the chest. I'm having to work to get there. And now I'm going to bring the head up right, but it's resisting doing so. And then back down. Keep breathing. And then we're going to release that. And now just rotate the head right and left. Just notice how the neck's feeling. Or maybe release the chin to one side and the other. You can even rotate the head down. And we'll come back to neutral. So if you have a block, it'll be great for this next pose, but you don't have to. You can just have your hands on the floor. But if you do, we're going to take a block at level 3. Right? So I like to call the tall length of the block level 3. On its side, it's level 2, flat level 1. Right? So I'm going to take it to level 3 out in front of me. Again, if you don't have a block, there's ways to modify this. It's totally fine. And then we're going to find a straddle. So we're going to take our feet nice and wide. Okay. All right. So the width of your straddle, on average, they'll say if you were to bring your arms up shoulder height and hang a string off your wrist, it would come to your ankles. But if that feels too wide, then narrow it up. If you would feel good to go wider, go wider. This is personal preference, okay? Feet are parallel, hands to your hips, spine tall, core engaged. From here, you're going to take your tailbone back, keep the spine long, and we're folding at the hip flexor, not the waist, right? So I'm leading with my heart, reaching out in front of me with my heart. And then I'm going to bring my hands to that block that's out in front of me. So I'm going to adjust it so it comes almost underneath my shoulders, maybe slightly out in front. I want to feel as if we're creating about a 90-degree bend at the body. Okay, so we may not feel a huge stretch in the back of the legs right now. Some of you may already be feeling a stretch. If you don't have a block and you're having to bring your hands to the floor, and it's too intense, remember, just bend the knees, okay? Just bend your knees and find that modified position there. Okay. From here, we're going to take our hips, and all we're going to do is shift them to the right. I'm just shifting my hips to the right and getting into the inner left thigh. Okay, all I needed to do is shift my hips to feel that. Some of you may need to bend the knee and drop in a little farther. So I'll leave that up to you, but the intention here is to get it to a stretch in the inner left thigh. Core is engaged, spine long, shoulders away from the ears, onto the back body. Your head or your gaze is straight down. Okay, so the neck is elongated. We're not looking up across the room. And just take a few deep breaths into that left inner thigh. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll go ahead and come back to neutral position. So the hips are no longer shifting. Everything's back to center. Take a breath. And then we're going to shift the hips to the left and softly releasing into the inner right thigh. Again, if you want to bend or need to bend that left knee to feel this, that's fine. But oftentimes, just the shifting of the hips is enough. Core is engaged, breath flowing. breathe into that stretch. Take 2 more breaths on this side. And then we'll find our way back to center. Now you can keep feel the stretch right here with the block, or if you'd like to lower it, or those of you who have had your hands on the floor, maybe you can begin to straighten the legs a little bit, but we're just looking for a nice stretch here through the inner thighs and the hamstrings. You might feel this in the back of the knees, the calves. Kind of notice. You can keep the hands out in front of you, or you can begin to release, walking the hands into between your feet, coming into a deeper straddle forward fold. Stay where the stretch is gentle. The breath can flow easily, and there's no pain. Let's take 3 more breaths here. As you come back out of the pose, bring the hands out in front of you a bit. You can use the block again if you want to. Bend the knees, kind of bring heel toe, so you narrow your stance, bringing the feet underneath you. So we're in Uttanasana, forward fold. And then go ahead and walk your feet back and come to the knees and release into a child's pose. Drawing all the way back, sits bones to the heel. Heels again, your head, if it comfortably reaches the floor, that's fine. You have the option to rest your head on your hands. Maybe lifting the head a little bit feels better on the neck today. And you also have the option for the block at its flattest level, level 1, third eye right to the edge of the block, and resting there. Nice, slow, steady breaths here. Just feel the practice so far. And then let's come on up, and we're going to roll onto our backs. Move into our releases before Shavasana. There was a request this morning for a little longer Shavasana and some meditation. So let's roll back. Open the arms wide. We're going to come into our double knee drop. Feet are about as wide as your mat. You can do this with the feet a little more narrow, but you might want to feel this. I think it just allows a little more range of motion. Exhale, release the knees to one side. Inhale, open wide, and exhale, release to the other side. So just slowly back and forth, double knee drop, inhale, open wide, and exhale to the other side. And then you can rotate the head Side to side in the opposite direction the knees go if you'd like. Just again, a little bit of work with the neck. Head supported, stays in the floor. Inhaling wide and exhale into the twist. When you've gone equally side to side, we'll bring everything back to neutral. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Again, a little Apanasana. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale, pull it in close. Notice if anything shifted from the beginning of the practice. Maybe there's a little more, a little release in the low back, or a little more ease in there. You can, again, circle the knees in one direction several times and then switch, big or small. Breath is steady. Let's just do a little hip stretch here. Place the feet back in the floor in your mat. Place the right ankle on the left knee. You can simply take that right knee with your right hand and push it away from you, and that might feel like just enough stretch. You don't have to take this any farther. You can rock side to side a little bit if you want to. Sometimes that feels good. Or if you desire, you can interlace the hands behind the left thigh, pick the left foot up off the floor, figure four, and stretch here. Nice, steady breathing. Continue to gently bring your mind back to the moment. Two more breaths here. And then we'll release that and switch sides. So left ankle on the right knee. Again, maybe it's enough to just gently push the knee away from you and stretch there. Rock side to side or stay center, that's fine too. Or if you choose, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Pick that right foot up off the floor, just breathe. Wherever you're choosing to hold the stretch. And then go ahead and release. Bring the foot back in the floor, both feet back in the floor. Take a moment if there's anything else that might complete your practice. can do so here, take a few breaths into that pose, or we'll find our way into Shavasana. So just take a minute on your own. And if you're ready for Shavasana, go ahead and use whatever props you'd like to get comfortable. So whether that's something under your head or a blanket rolled underneath the knees or a blanket on you might feel really nice too. So it's up to you as to what is most comfortable. Extending the legs out along the floor, drawing the shoulders open by bringing the shoulder blades onto the back body. Palms up, arms slightly away from the body, rolling the heart open. The feet splay open. So you surrender to gravity, just letting go into the floor, into the earth. The breath becomes quiet here. You might even do a little scan of the body. Notice if there's any tension anywhere and invite, with your breath, invite that area to let go. So notice if there's any tension in the facial muscles, or the neck and shoulders, fingers or toes. Taking this time to integrate this practice, receive its gifts, and carry it with you into your day. Take several deep breaths. And begin to wiggle some fingers and toes, just slowly finding your way back. And then eventually rolling to one side. Pause there for a few breaths. And find your way to a seated position and use any props that you need to so you're comfortable here for a few minutes for a meditation, a little guided meditation. When you've settled into your seat, become aware of your breath. So simply observe the body breathing again, not necessarily shaping it, lengthening it, directing it. Just feel the body breathing. So today I'm going to guide you in a meditation that incorporates both the breath and sensation. So the sensation and the breath are our anchor points this morning to anchor the mind, our very busy minds, to something. And so what we're going to do is take the thumb of either or both hands. You can do this on one hand or both. It's up to you. And you're going to take the tip of your thumb to the base of the pinky finger. And what we'll do is on the inhale, you'll slide your thumb up to the tip of the pinky finger. And then the exhale, it slides back down to the base. And then we move to the ring finger. And you inhale, slide the thumb up to the tip of the ring finger. And exhale back down to the base. Move to the middle finger. Inhale up to the tip of the finger. And exhaling back down to the base. And you're resting your hands in your lap, palms up. Take the base of the first finger, pointer finger, slide on the inhale up to the tip. And then exhale back down to the base of that pointer finger. And then we'll go back to the pinky. Inhale, slide up to the tip of the pinky. And exhale back down to the base. So just find your pace with this. We're just going to stay here for several minutes. Inhale brings you the tip of each finger, and the exhale brings you back down to the base. You can use one or both hands, totally up to you. Allowing the mind to become quiet and rest in both the breath and the sensation created of the thumb sliding up and down each finger. When you complete with the pointer finger, you move back to the pinky. The next time you complete one full cycle with the pointer finger, just allow the hands to relax, breathe, and just feel into the practice, this gift of practice you gave yourself today. Let's bring our hands together to our hearts. I've unmuted us all so we can hear each other's completion and practice this morning with a namaste. So thank you for allowing me to take the seat of teacher this morning. And I also appreciate all of you in my life, not only as students, but as friends and as my teachers. Namaste.